me tell you about a friend. It's Craig LeBlanc where the good times never end. Talking Parks and Rec, it's a show you gotta know. Welcome one and all to the Daily Parks and Rec Show. It's the Daily Parks and Rec Show.
For me, especially as I started in pool management and working with lifeguards, when you have a staff of 115 kids, you wonder what kind of impact you make. For me, it has been not only what I get to do for the community as their experience with recreation, but also what I get to do with the community and building these young people through their first jobs, their first experiences in the workplace, teaching them how to interact with their teammates, how they are impacting their community.
Welcome back to the Daily Parks and Rec Show from the 2025 GRPA Conference. In this episode, we sit down with Kim Watley, Facility Operations Manager for the City of Decatur Parks and Recreation. From starting as a lifeguard to leading major capital projects, Kim shares how flexibility, communication, and passion drive successful parks and rec operations, plus why this field is one of the most impactful careers you can choose. This is leadership, legacy, and parks and recreation in action. Let's dive in.
All right, so this is Craig LeBlanc again with the Daily Parks and Rec Show live from the GRPA. Is this considered a summit, annual convention? What do we call
Conference.
this? Conference,
yeah.
And it's at the fantastic venue of Jekyll Island. This place is gorgeous.
Oh, absolutely. And beautiful weather, right?
I know.
It's amazing.
We had deers frolicking in the front yard yesterday. I'm like, did we land in the Garden of Eden or something?
Yes. Too bad it's not sea turtle season. Otherwise, you can walk the beach and see the sea turtles.
No way.
Yes.
Fantastic. All right. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do in Parks and Rec?
Absolutely. So I work for the City of Decatur Parks and Recreation, and I am their Facility Operations Manager. So for me, I get to interact with all of our divisions and help make sure that their facilities are up and running the way they need them to be, handle all the park stuff and liaison with Public Works to make sure that we're hitting our standards. And then, of course, I get to do the fun stuff, which is capital projects. Get to build new things or renovate things, which is always super awesome and fun to watch things come to life.
Yeah. Okay. So you're pretty much over all facilities maintenance. And how did you get in that role? This is typically a male dominated position. And here you are running it just like the boys do.
Well, and that's funny because I actually got in there from a very different angle. I started in aquatics. Began as a lifeguard, moved my way up through that. But when you are running aquatics facilities, a huge part of what you do is that facility maintenance piece.
Right.
And so just having the experience of, running from starting as a pool manager, getting in pump rooms, and then you start expanding that, right? You start learning about elevator maintenance and HVAC maintenance, and then just how to keep a building clean and keep those standards high. And so that's a huge piece of that. And I think that's just kind of expanded into, obviously being able to do that for an entire Parks and Rec department. And then I've always been involved with the capital project side from building recreation and aquatic centers. Started in Northern Virginia and then moved my way here to Georgia to open a center down here a long time ago. And then now we're at the City of Decatur making it happen and do lots of fun, super cool things these days.
Now, do you manage any projects start to finish?
Yes. So recently we did a natural turf to artificial turf resurfacing for the Ebster field, which was super cool. It just, expanded the ability for our community to use it more frequently, more often, kept the weather from keeping us off the field, and things of that nature. I get to be a part of some bigger projects. We also recently built an amazing track and field.
Oh, wow. That is a big one.
It is. It was a combo project with our school system, and our deputy city manager, really led the project because obviously it was a partnership program, but definitely let me be a part of it from start to finish. And now we have this beautiful 8-lane NCAA track and a huge soccer multi-purpose use field, artificial turf as well. But the cool thing too is, we've done things a little bit differently in Decatur. We've used some of the natural infill instead of doing the rubber. It's just a community want. So we've gotten to experience a little bit of difference with those things and what that process is. And, you know, being a 4.7 square mile city in Decatur, we definitely have stormwater management situations. So some of our projects, you know, we've kind of had to be a little bit creative about how we manage that stormwater and what that project, that impact from that project and what it would like kind of result in us having to do a little bit differently than maybe we would if we just, you know, threw some turf down and kept it moving.
And a lot of people don't know that project management is a massive chunk of Parks and Recreation. Think of every little playground that needs to be torn down, rebuilt, roofs need to be replaced, and the list just never stops.
No.
About the stuff and it's create a project, and then you got 10 of them. What's the most projects you ever had going at the same time?
Oh, I mean, I think probably actually right now, we have an Epster Teen area outdoor recreation project. We're redoing an entire space at our Epster Park. We have the Glen Lake Tennis Center. We're going to do a complete resurfacing, refurbishing of our tennis courts. And then I actually am kind of a little bit blessed. I get a bucket every year of money and capital that I get to do kind of what I would call mini projects.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that is I'm probably about a total of 20 mini projects for the entire year.
Wow.
So, you know, managing those on a timeline and making sure we kind of hit them at the right seasons and things of that nature.
Yeah.
But you know, but it's fun. It keeps you on your toes. I keep a pair of steel-toed boots in my office. So even when I decide to wear heels to work, I can throw on the boots and go out on site if I'm needed.
Right.
So it keeps it interesting, right?
So what advice would you give somebody that just inherited the you know, the maintenance, not the maintenance side, but, you know, where you're doing this construction management basically role?
You know, be flexible. Honestly, I think that's the biggest thing. It's almost, I think Parks and Recreation as a whole, right? It's always be flexible, but especially with capital projects and management, you never know what's going to happen. Weather, people, products, things get delayed. Suddenly things are locked up in a port and you can't get them shipped to you.
Yeah.
You know, and just kind of being patient with the situation, trying to have an understanding, and then being really clear with your communication with everybody about what the holdup might be or what the hiccup is that day, and just making sure that everyone's aware of why we need to be flexible and why we need to do those things.
Yeah. Yeah. And so how is it, like, a lot of people have described all the third-party contractors like herding cats on one project. How do you deal with that? Any secret sauce around that?
You know, I think it is really holding to a meeting schedule.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of like the biggest thing, is making sure that everybody comes to your construction meetings. They know to be there. We're all communicating at the same time, and making sure that we're really all on those same pages every time we show up on that construction site, and that we're all working towards that same goal, same vision.
Yeah. Communication is key with all of that.
Absolutely.
What do you use? Like email, text message, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever you can? What's your primary?
Craig, before she goes too far, I just need you to know Kim Watley is the greatest thing that's ever happened to us ever in Georgia.
I could see it.
Gotta love Thomas White.
He's
right?
the best.
He's the best cheerleader ever.
I know.
You know, pigeon carriers, right? You know, like you name it, right? I think anything and everything. My biggest thing though usually is email, and mostly because I want to keep a documentation of exactly what we've said, and that everybody is receiving that same email at the same time. Yeah. So no one can be like, oh, well, Kim called me and said this. And I'm like, no, I didn't.
Yeah. All in email. It's on record.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we made a little video for the Parks and Rec industry about why you should consider Parks and Rec as a career path. And I love that you have a career path in that maintenance side of Parks and Rec, because a lot of times when people think of career in park, well, first of all, they don't even know it's a career, but if they do, they think you need to be a coach, or maybe you can be the director, but they don't realize all the skills that are needed. Pretty much every college degree offered, you could practically find a way to be used in Parks and Recreation.
Absolutely.
So what I'll do is I'll play this real quick, little 2-minute video, and I'd love to get your feedback on it, and even your testimony, like as if you're talking to a group of college kids that don't know what they're going to do. What would be your testimony to them?
Absolutely.
So we'll play this and come right back.
Every career is a choice, but few careers let you touch lives. Not once in a while, but every single day. Step into a park on a Saturday morning. You'll hear children laughing on the soccer field, families gathering for a picnic, seniors walking the trails, finding health and friendship. And behind every smile, every memory, is a Parks and Rec professional. We don't just mow fields, we grow confidence in young athletes. We don't just build playgrounds, we create safe spaces where childhood thrives. We don't just plan events, we design moments that anchor generations. Think of the coach who teaches patience, the director who champions equity, the staff member who sees potential in a child no one else believed in. Every day, Parks and Rec professionals shape character, preserve beauty, and strengthen community. And the path isn't easy. Budgets are tight, resources stretched thin, but the reward, unmatched. Because what you give comes back in legacy, in healthier communities, in lives forever changed. So why dedicate your life to Parks and Recreation? Because here, your work never ends. It lives on, in laughter echoing across playgrounds, in green spaces preserved for the next century, in the young professionals rising to lead tomorrow. This is not just a career, it's a calling, it's a legacy, it's Parks and Recreation. A message from the Parks and Rec community.
All right. So what are your thoughts on our video, and then what's your testimony?
I mean, I think that sums up Parks and Rec, in a very awesome way. I was blessed. I went to George Mason University, one of the best recreation degree programs in the entire United States of America. I absolutely was blessed with professors who were working in the field. So when we went to class and we went to a capital projects class, they took us on a site where they were building a brand new recreation center in Fairfax County. We had people who were working and doing the boring budget things, but they were able to show us what that truly meant. And so, I think it sparked something inside of me to, know that my impact can be greater than just a job.
Yeah.
For me, especially as I started in pool management and working with lifeguards, when you have a staff of 115 kids, you wonder what kind of impact you make. And for me, it has been not only what I get to do for the community as their experience with recreation, but also what I get to do with the community and building these young people through their first jobs, their first experiences in the workplace, teaching them how to interact with their teammates, how they are impacting their community. And, some of my most meaningful moments have actually been with my part-time staff and having them come back and just tell me what we taught them, what, helped them grow up, what they learned from those situations. And, those are sometimes some of the more meaningful things. Of course, for me, I've been a Parks and Rec kid my whole entire life. Grew up in Northern Virginia. Prince William County Park Authority is where I started my playing days.
Yeah.
And, to me, that's always been a part of life. And so, just being able to be a part of that and continue it as I've grown up. And I think, for me too, one of the greatest things is watching people make memories in your space.
Yeah.
Watching families get to create core memories together of their first kid time going down a water slide at the water park because they were finally tall enough, or the first time a baby gets in the water for their first swim class, things of those natures, really, I think for me have been a huge piece of why I continue to do this and why I know it means so much to, the fabric of our communities, what we get to bring to it. And I think, like I said, having come from a great recreation management program at George Mason, being able to know those things kind of coming into the field was great, right? I didn't have a misconception of what life might be in Parks and Rec. I knew.
Yeah.
I knew.
Fantastic. Well, before we end here, I'd love for you to say a little bit about just aquatic centers in general. I think a lot of people don't realize that this might be the only opportunity to teach a lot of people in our cities to swim at life-saving skill, but maybe just give a testimony about how important an aquatic center is to a community.
Absolutely. Aquatic centers, a lot of people think of it, they look at a water park, it's fun, right? It's family fun, which is an absolute important piece too. But the opportunity to educate the community on water safety itself and what that means and what that looks like. I've had some great partners here in Georgia, Safe Kids, our DNR groups have all participated in water safety weeks with us. And especially, it's not even just about water safety at the pool. Here in Georgia, we have lots of lakes, rivers, and opportunities for people to get into the water. And so making them understand that it doesn't just happen at the pool, that it's going to happen everywhere they're at, and making sure that they just know they got to be watchful and they got to know where they're at, know how to be safe, know how to, jump in and make that rescue when need be. One of the favorite things I love doing on a water safety week.
Here we go. All right. Can't get rid of us that easy. We're back. All right. What were you saying?
Yeah. So, being able to show them like the reach, throw, don't go, right? Knowing that you can grab almost anything around you and use it to reach out, throw it to somebody to help them, but not go in the water yourself so that you don't become an additional victim. And being able to watch kids learn that and know that. I have 3 children myself. And so our grandparents have a pool in the backyard, both of them. So it was one of those things very early on. Every time they got to an age where I felt like they could receive the message, we were learning that. So just so if they saw a sibling fall into the water, they could be able to grab that noodle, grab a stick, grab a pole, whatever it was nearby, that they could help make that rescue without jumping in the water, but knowing that they could have a solution and not be scared. Yeah,
it really is a life-saving skill. Can't teach it to enough people.
Not at all.
That's it. Well, Kim, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I need to get you on the facilities maintenance show.
Absolutely.
And we can go much more in depth about everything that it is to actually maintain this massive real estate portfolio that Parks and Rec has.
Right. Absolutely. Would love to.
Yeah. We appreciate you coming on the show and have a great rest of your convention.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Are you a vendor, brand, or service provider ready to connect with the heartbeat of local communities? At DPRS Media Co., we tell the stories shaping parks and recreation across America. Through podcasts, live streams, videos, and newsletters, we reach frontline leaders, city directors, and decision makers every single week. From youth sports and facilities to programming and policy, our audience is your audience. Sponsoring or partnering with DPRS Media Co. puts your brand in front of the professionals who build, budget, and buy for their communities. Launching a new product, growing your presence in public spaces, targeting cities, counties, or departments, DPRS is your trusted media partner. Whether you're in software, turf, aquatics, robotics, smart cities, or special events, partnering with DPRS puts your brand in the story. With commercials, interviews, social campaigns, newsletters, and live shows, we're your media team. Partner with us and grow your impact in the $200 billion parks and rec industry. DPRS Media Co. Stories that move parks and rec forward. Your audience is here. Let's meet them.